Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and welcome to First Yahudin Messianic Temple in Lake Placid, Florida. I am his servant, Maria Simpson, and thank you for inviting us into your homes, your cells, your car, wherever it is that you're listening to this message. And, thank you for welcoming us, and also thank you for being with us. I believe that this message is like every message every Saturday. I believe that it's going to inspire you, it's going to touch you, and really I believe that it's going to make your life, you understand your life a little bit better. Now, today here in Lake Placid, Florida, we're having a really beautiful day, because even though it's not so much sunny, but it's kind of breezy and beautiful, and it's nice. So with that in mind, the message today is titled, Pay Attention to Life. What we need to understand is that in order for there to be change in our lives, the one that needs to change is ourselves. Because everything we do in life, from the moment we arrive in this earth to the time we leave, it's about learning something new that we didn't know before. See, the reason that we need to pay attention to life is because today I give this tribute to life. Why? Because life is our best teacher. No one has more experience than life itself. See, life in itself has no beginning, has no end, because life is Elohim, it's God himself. It's always existed, it's always been here, and honestly and truly, life doesn't change. He doesn't change. And what life gives, life births life. Now, life is our teacher, and we are the student of life, or we are the disciples of life. If we are well and able to listen to what life is saying to us, we will learn a valuable lesson about life. In order to learn about life, we need to be teachable. We need to be a student of life. We need to be a disciple of life. What is being said in our lives? What is going on in our life? What is life telling us right now, that whatever it is that you are going through? Because I have learned that when I got over my pity party, when I got over my crying, and when I got over my I don't understand, it's when I learned that I have to listen to what life is telling me. You see, and I know that many of you, or maybe all of you, have heard this phrase. How do you see a glass? Have you ever heard the phrase? How do you see the glass? Do you see the glass half full, half empty? And if you see it half full, it means that you're optimistic. If you see it half empty, it means you're pessimistic. Well, the glass, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's just how you see things. For example, personally, I don't see the glass half full. I don't see the glass half empty. I just see the glass, period. And why do I just see the glass? Because the glass represents you. The glass represents you. The glass represents what are you putting in your glass? What are you putting in your life? Now, the glass, it represents you. And what I personally have learned from that glass, which is me, is that is the real me. That is the real me. The real you, it's not yourself, because yourself is a person that your parents and your buddies and your friends and your husband and your wife and everybody wanted to make. But when you understand the real you, that's who you are, the real you. When you are the real you, you want to be seen as you truly are. Yet it takes courage as well as self-awareness. The authentic you will lead you to a more fulfilled life. A fulfilled life is a life that every day you wake up, every night you go to sleep, you are fulfilled that day. A fulfilled life is when you have met your goal, your dreams, your aspiration. It's when you are happy. It's when you love who you are. It is unbelievable. See, where does life begin? Life does not begin when you're born. Because before you are born, you already have life inside your mother's womb. The day that life begins is at the end of your comfort zone. When you get tired of being tired of your comfort zone, that's when you will get out of the box. That's when your life begins. That is what, and that you are following the instructions, the lessons of life. See, when I say the word prosperity or success or blessing, most people automatically, they always think it's money. Even though money is part of that, but everybody desires different things. Everybody looks at prosperity and blessings in different things. See, everybody is different. Look at my fingers. They're all different. Everybody's different. Whether you are a comedian, a nerd, a great cook, you're an athlete, or love politics, all people have their own niche in life. Finding out who you really are and embracing your uniqueness is a healthy way to live your life. See, when we are born to when we become adults, we live the life that our parents taught us that we have to live. They taught us what to believe, how to dress, how to do, and there wasn't nothing wrong with that. But see, that's not who we are. When you come to yourself and when you come to the real you, then maybe you start eating different foods. Maybe you start believing different things. Because now we become curious of what life is. And once you discover yourself, who is the real you, you will find confidence in learning new things, visiting new places, and meeting new friends. Always be proud of who you are, and who you will have enough self-confidence to deal with all the arrows of life that throws your way. See, reality is life is not that it's easy and it's hard. It is just the way you look at it. And in life, we are thrown many times different arrows. We confront many challenges in life. But see, since we don't understand what these challenges are that are happening in our lives, the first thing begins to happen to us, fear, confusion. Sometimes we cry. We feel like we feel butterflies in our stomach. We don't understand why is this happening to us. But see, these arrows and these challenges of life is that they're there for us to learn something to better us. Why do I say that? Well, when we are born, we don't know how to talk, walk. We don't know how to run. We are taught. From the moment we're born, we're taught. From our parents and from grandparents, people that take care of us. We learn, and look at this, not because we're reading when we're born, we don't read. It's just a habit of what we hear, the environment. That's how we learn. So what happens? We do not stay babies. We grow. We mature. Our bodies, our skeleton, our everything grows. And see, the one thing until the age of 45 and 50 that is completely, constantly developing is called our minds. When we are born, our minds are not fully developed. So we are taught different things. We get challenged from in life that comes to us for different things. And this is life is the teacher of life. It's really, we are student. What do I have to learn from this situation? I'm in the wrong relationship. I started this religion, but now I don't know what's going on. What's happening? Because what happens is in life, you begin asking questions. If you don't ask questions in life, how will you know? And if you go to someone and someone cannot answer your question, then you're asking the wrong person. If I want legal advice, guess where I'm going to go? I'm going to go to to a lawyer. If I want medical advice, where do I go? I go to a doctor. If I want to construct a home, where am I going to go? Architect. Excuse me?
An architect.
An architect. You need to ask questions on what the subject that you're looking for to the right people, the right source. Now, in order to understand life, literally, we must be teachable and we must be disciples or student of life and pay attention to life's lesson. Right now, you're going through a lesson. And if you don't learn from that lesson, you will repeat that grade again and again and again and again until you learn. Have you ever said to yourself, why am I going through the same thing last year before? What is happening? It's because you haven't learned. Life is about learning. And at times about teaching. But if there's something that you don't understand that is happening in your life, it's because you are not open enough. You're not listening to life. You're not listening to the teacher, what it's trying to tell you, what it's trying to teach you. See, we all ask a lot of things about life. I want this, and I want to be more loving. I want to be more caring. I would like a house, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I want to be a teacher. I want to be an astronaut, whatever. But when you ask, now watch this. When you ask what you're asking, it comes out of your mouth. It goes in the air. In other words, it's an arrow that you're shooting it to. Even though many times we do not receive the answer, but the answer is in the air. And at the right time, when you learn how to, from what you have asked to where you are going, if you pay attention, you will get there faster. If you don't pay attention, you will be stuck there for years until you do. And it doesn't matter if you're 100 years old. Life, there's always something new to learn about life. Something happened to me this week. And see, and the reason I'm gonna share this with you is because life will reveal to you, will speak to you in moments that you think, what is this? I'm cleaning my bedroom this week, about 4 days ago. And I come across a journal, which is a journal that I used to have when I used to do hair. And I had phone numbers, friends, and sometimes clients. So I started opening, and I saw a name and came to the name of Angel Cardoso. So I had all his numbers, and I said, you know what? This is Angel Cardoso. Actually, he used to sell products to me from Easy, and we did a show together, a hair show, which was spectacular. So anyway, I opened it up. I called him, and well, he came out, and I was so happy to hear his voice. I left a message. He calls me. I am not kidding. The following day, he calls me. We talked for about 45 minutes to an hour. And he said to me, because we started talking about, about his life and my life and everything. And he said something to me that kind of like, it's like you say, wow, this is awesome. Like a bright light comes out. And he said to me, Maria Elena, which is, in Spanish, they call me Maria Elena, Maria. Life is not to be focused on the destination, but on the journey. You know what is amazing? That even though I knew this, I stopped. When he said this, I stopped. My mind just stopped. It says, he is so right. Because what happened to me is that we are so preoccupied with how fast we're going to get there that we really are not enjoying the ride of life. We're not seeing the signs. We're not enjoying, and it's fruits. And he is so right. Sometimes Elohim, God, puts people in your way. Sometimes it's to say something to you. Sometimes it's to teach that person. But sometimes it's that maybe you will be together again to do something greater. Because you don't know, to get from what you have asked for to what you really are expecting, you don't know who Elohim, God, is going to put in your way so they can help you. Because everybody needs everybody. Don't kid yourself. Whoever says that I don't need anybody, you know what? They don't belong to this planet. They're aliens. Listen very carefully. Be willing to take the first step, no matter how small it is. Concentrate on the fact that you are willing to learn. If you are willing to learn, if you become teachable, absolute miracles will happen in your life. Now, biblically speaking, the word says that death and life are in the power of your tongue. And they that love it will eat its fruit. Now, our thoughts and our words are very powerful. Okay? When it says death and life are on the power of the tongue, death and life are both spirits. When we speak, we are speaking spirit, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. You will bring to your life not only what you are thinking, not only what you are feeling, but what you say. Even when you speak against others and you gossip. Why is that? Let me give you an example. There's two areas in our brains. One is called conscious, and the other one is called a subconscious. When we speak something negative, let's suppose that I say something negative about somebody. I hate that man, or I hate that woman. Even though I am saying this, the subconscious does not understand what I'm saying. So the subconscious automatically, it takes hate man or hate woman. And what happens is, what I'm coming out of my mouth is like a frisbee. It's going to go, but it's going to come back. And this is what happens when we are negative, when we think bad about others, even though it is true. Cállate la boca. Keep your mouth shut. Shh. Listen very carefully. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Why the power? Because there's power, there's strength, what you say. There is authority. There is an energy. There is capacity in your words, in your thoughts. Are you willing to change your self-talk into a positive affirmations? Listen very carefully. Affirmations are not just positive. Every morning that we wake up, we're constantly saying affirmation, whether it's negative affirmation or positive affirmations. You and I, we have the authority to command good or bad things over our lives. In Philippians chapter number 4, verse number 8, it is written, Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, no. This is Paul speaking. Look at what it's even biblically. Look at what he says. Finally, brethren, whatsoever thing is true, whatsoever thing is honest, whatsoever thing is just, whatsoever thing is pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are good report, if there's any virtue, and if there's any praise, think on these things. Whoa. I personally always believe I'm being positive, speaking right. But until not too long ago, I was still saying phrases that were negative. And there's things in my life that didn't change. Even though you know that whatever that person or the other person or whatever it is that is wrong, and you know that it's wrong, don't speak it. Because what's happening is, number one, that you have to love others as yourself. And others, when you speak, even though you're gossiping, you're criticizing, you're condemning. See, you're not condemning them. You're condemning your life. Because your words is like a frisbee. What you say will come back to you. Our words, even though they're sent like an arrow, because you're sending it. This is why when we make jokes at people and then we say, well, I'm sorry, well, you already sent it out. Be careful, because if you're going to a higher level in your life, if you're learning from life, then you have to listen to what life is telling you. Why should you stay in a relationship that you know is not good for you? Why should you be crying? Literally, many people think, or many women think, that if they stay, they're going to change the man. If they have a child, another child, that man is going to change. No, nobody changes nobody. The only one that can change is yourself. And if you cannot do that, then how can there be change in your life? How can your life be better? Remember, every time you think a thought and every time you speak a word, you are saying an affirmation. An affirmation is the beginning point. It opens the way to change. In essence, you are saying to your subconscious mind, I am taking responsibility. I am aware that there is something that I can do to change. If you say, I don't want, look at this. If you say, I don't want to be sick anymore, the subconscious mind hears sick more. Now you want to tell it clearly what you do want, that is to say, I am healthy, I am a healthy person, I radiate good health. The subconscious mind, what it hears is what it does. If you say, I hate this car, it doesn't give you a wonderful new car because it doesn't know what you want. Even when you get a new car, you will probably hate it soon. Because that is what you have been saying. I hate this car. The subconscious only hears hate and car. You need to clearly declare your desires in a positive way, as in, I have a beautiful new car that suits all of my needs, or I always have a car that I love. If there is something in your life that you really dislike, listen very carefully because this is very important. If there's something in your life that you dislike, if there's a person in your life that you dislike, I have found a way so it can be released from my life. And this is what I do from now on. I bless you with love. I release you and I let you go. Because when you say this, what you're going to get back is going to get blessing and you're going to get love. Sure. If you say, I hate this person, guess what you're going to get back? Hate.
This is for somebody we have to let it out of our mind or
yes.
out of our life.
Yes.
Say that again, explain that.
Yes. This will work for people that you dislike. This will work for situations, for objects, and even living quarters.
What do we say?
Excuse me?
Say it again.
She wants me to say it again.
I bless you.
When you say, I bless you with love, I release you and I let you go. This will work for people, situations, objects, and living quarters.
If you say it over and over again.
Excuse me?
If you say that over and over again, it starts to be real.
Yes. You know why? Because we, in our bodies, we're dealing with two things in our minds. It's the conscious, which is now, and the subconscious. And the subconscious really is the one that restores everything that we have said, everything that we have thought. Our past is in our subconscious. Now, I know I'm very pressed for time with you. So I'm going to do it as best I can, because after we're done, I continue here in the Kahilai where we're at, okay? In other words, you have the authority over your life to command good or bad things to come into your life.
If you don't finish it, we'll make it a part 2.
Excuse me?
If you don't finish it, we'll make it a part 2.
My husband said, hey, if you don't make it, you can make a part 2. Okay. Listen very carefully. If there's something missing in your life, that means there's a lack. Am I right?
Yes.
If I say the word poverty Poverty is not just lack of money. Poverty is deficiency, is when you are deficient, you are in need, a desirable of quality. You want quality in something in your life that right now you don't have. See, it's not what people are saying to you. It's about what you say about yourself that you believe. Everything in life takes a lot of care and attention to grow. And when we're done, maybe I'll bring this message again. When we're done, I have to explain, because I go on the board and I explain exactly what do I mean. What do I mean? And just to let you know, what do I mean that everything takes a lot of love or care and attention? What does that mean? Because every day we wake up, we're sowing and reaping. So practically, we are a farmer. And if you want to know what that's all about, go ask a farmer what it is to sow and reap. And when we're done, then I go more in detail and so that's just to let you know. Listen very carefully. Parents are constantly telling their children to pay more attention to the teacher, correct? What would happen if your child turns around and tells you, Dad, Mom, I will pay more attention to the teacher only when you learn to pay attention to life? Have you ever seen a mom or dad that smokes and tells their children to stop smoking? When they themselves are not doing it? What kind of example is that?
It's not good for you.
That's a very poor example. That's not well, I can smoke because I'm an adult. Really? Then you're not a good example. Pay attention to life. Why? Because life comes from God, which is the source of everything. Let me break it down to you. When I say to you, pay attention to life, the first word is pay. Pay is to give an exchange for something. When you go to the store, you really are not paying money. What you're doing, it's paper money or credit card or paper money or credit card. And what you're doing an exchange. Pay is to give an exchange for something. Pay attention. Attention. Attention means is to observe carefully. What? Carefully with your ears, with your eyes. Pay attention. A lot of times people are talking to us, and instead of paying attention to what they're saying, we begin to wander off somewhere in La La Land, and we don't even hear what this person is saying to us. Even though there's a lot of people that I don't want to pay attention to because really it's nonsense what they're saying. And then life. Pay attention to life. What is life? Life is our teacher. Today, right now, in this very morning, there's something in your life that the teacher of life is trying to tell you. Trying to teach you. Are you teachable? Do you want your life to be different? What is stopping you in life to reaching your goal? We must make a choice to pay attention to life. After all, we only have one life to live.
True.
Paulo Coelho, which was a Spaniard, he wrote a lot of books and poems. He wrote this. All you have to do is pay attention. Lessons are always arrive when you are ready, and if you can read the signs, you will learn everything you need to know in order to take the next step. Let me ask you these questions. If I were to sit right in front of you and I were to look right straight in your eyes and I were to ask you, What have you learned from the life's experiences? What will be your answer? What will be the answer? Would you think for a long time? Because it really makes you want to think, doesn't it? Would you think, and what would you say to me? That you can teach me, because I can also learn from you. What have you learned from life's experiences? How determined are you in your life to better yourself? And what are you doing right now to make your life better? What are you doing? Well, Maria, I pray many times for the same thing, but it hasn't arrived. I don't care how many times you have asked in prayer. I don't care what you have asked. What I know is that whatever you have asked, it will come. Sometimes it comes fast. Sometimes it takes time because you haven't learned. There's something you need to learn. And I'm going to tell you. We all have a turning point in our lives. If you don't have a turning point, then there's something you're not learning. And there's something, if you don't have a turning point, that you haven't gotten rid of so you can have something better. My turning point, I'm going to tell you what it was. The end of March, beginning of April of 2018 of last year. And you all know my husband almost died. He was in the hospital and all this stuff. A turning point is a point that is so sharp. It's a point like when a caterpillar is struggling to come out of the cocoon. My turning point, everything went through my mind when my husband almost died. What am I doing? Is this the right thing? I'm not talking about my home. I'm talking about my life. Certain beliefs that we had. Certain foods. Everything. In other words, everything. Did you know what happens in your turning point? My turning point, I had to get rid of something for something better. Because if I didn't listen to life's experiences at that moment when my husband was going through I will still be stuck where I was. And let me tell you, like I said to somebody when I was working in the courthouse, I did not come from Cuba pushing or pulling the plane. I came first class. I love to excel in life. I learn from every human being that I meet. I learn from people that are homeless. I learn from Mother Teresa. I learn from everybody. I learn from my husband. I learn from my friends. I learn because I want to be better. I want to be better in my life. And always, God, Elohim, will always send somebody to help you, to teach you, or maybe for you to teach them. And when we let go of our ego, when we let go of our pride, it's when we learn to live. Because when we live in the ego, we live like we're better than anybody. And nobody is better than me. The ego is the flesh. Yourself is your spirit. And when you surrender that ego to the spirit, you will excel and you will learn many beautiful things. And the most precious thing there is in life are two things. It's life and love. That's it. Life and love. Everything comes from that. You could have $1 billion right now. And you will be the most miserable person in the world. You can be the poorest person in the world, and you can be the most miserable person there is. True. It's not about being rich or being poor. It's about knowing what life is all about and appreciating what you have. In times when you're lacking, in times when you do have, And don't consider yourself that you're better than anybody, because I'm going to tell you, no matter how much I learn, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Every change in my life has always been for better. Have you ever been in a situation that made you ask, why me? Have you ever asked yourself in a really bad situation, have you ever asked yourself that, why me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question, and why not? Why not? Why not? Well, Maria, I went through a lot, and so have I. But see, that is your turning point. And a lot of people, what happens, they get stuck in their pity party. Oh, boo-hoo, poor me, and I'm the victim in my mind, and feel sorry for me, and that's okay for a little bit. But you know what? There's a time you got to get over yourself. You know why? Because the why me, I did it many years. I will go on my bed at nighttime and I will cry. I will cry myself to sleep. Why did this happen to me when I was little? Why did people do this to me in my life? Why? You know what? When I came to myself and I left that stupidity of, I'm sorry, this is just the way it's. I left that victimized mentality, and I learned that I needed to go through that, because that is how I changed. This is how I evolved. This is how I went to the other side of the mountain. This is how I came out of the box. It's not what anybody has done. It's what I do with my life from this point forward to make it better. See, you're there right now because maybe some of you are curious. Well, let's see what she's got to say about life. But some of you are there because you want something new. You want answers. And the answer, let me tell you where the answer is in your life. It's inside of you. Problem is that sometimes, and I did it, I was living everybody's lives and I forgot about mine. And then you don't understand why things happen in your life. You know why? Because you're making other people's dream come true, but you're not making yours.
That's all true. Yeah.
When my husband almost died last year, 2018, from April to this point, which is pretty soon, in 2 or 3 more months, it'll be a year. My life has completely changed. I don't look at things the same. I don't speak the same. I don't eat the same. As a matter of fact, I don't even believe in religion. Because religion is man-made rules and man-made laws. I do believe in God. I do believe Him, that He exists. I do believe in the Son of God. But in a different, more powerful way, more togetherness. And let me tell you, who taught me this was He Himself. And everything that I have heard, I respect so I can get respect. If you don't get respect, you are not going to get it. Because respect doesn't come from other people. Respect comes from yourself. If you don't get respect, you cannot be able to receive it. Because what you give, you're going to get back. Turning points in our lives is a shifting of our life that is taking place. When there's a turning point, there's a shifting. There's a shifting. Just like when you ride a car, first, second, third, fourth. There's a shifting going on. You go from first to fourth. Woo! That hurts. It really hurts. It really hurts. But how determined are you? How determined are you? Turning points in our lives is our shifting in our lives that is taking place. And guess what? It's not a comfortable place. And when you are in your turning point, nobody is around you. You're in the desert. And you think nobody cares for you. But see, what I didn't understand, that is not their problem, it's my problem, because now I'm going to something better and something bigger. But see, when you in this very uncomfortable place, when I was in this uncomfortable place, I learned about myself, the things that I never thought I had. I learned to strip myself naked. And when I mean this, I'm not just talking about my clothes. I'm talking about every bad habit, everything that I don't believe in, every negative thoughts, criticism. I stripped myself from my head to my toes. And let me tell you, it was very cold because I was naked. It was very lonely because nobody was around. I cried a lot. I didn't have anybody to hug me. But I'm going to tell you, when that turning point was complete, that I finished, I became a new woman. I became a new person. I became, the way I think, the way I do is totally, it's a powerhouse. And what I came to was a different level of life. Different, higher level of life. Reality is, and this is the only way I can say it, I came to a door, a portal that was open, and I had the guts and the desire to go into it. Because now I'm going to new challenges, new ways that I don't know what's going on, but I know I'm going. And this is what life is telling us. You don't stay, you don't stay a youngster, you don't stay a child. Every 7 years, we go through changes in our bodies. Well, at the age of 59 that I am, last year was 58, I was going through another change. And that is called the epitome. It's called the highest mountain. It's called the highest experience that I have ever in my life experienced. And I'm going to tell you, I feel awesome. I feel with a tremendous power. I feel with a love that cannot stop me. I feel unstoppable. I feel that there's a strength in my mind, in my heart, in my spirit. I feel so good.
The ultimate gift.
Because I don't look at things the way I used to. I look at them with different eyes. I hear them with different ears. And let me tell you, it feels phenomenal. It feels awesome. Your turning point, my turning point, was a place, was a higher level of my life. Turning points are higher levels of life. See, we don't like the same thing all the time. We like changes. We like to evolve. You know? You know, some women have their color black, blonde, highlights. We like using different toothpaste. Turning point is a time when something new is about to show up in your life. There is a shift that takes over, okay? The wind, the stars, the planet, everything begins to move. Turning points contain a message from yourself to yourself. Let me say that again. Turning points contain a message from yourself to yourself. An example of turning point in someone's life is a day the woman finds out that she is pregnant. That's a turning point for her. Don't you agree? Turning points is a place that something changes direction in your life. A point in time when a decisive change occurs. You get scared. You don't know what to do because you're so complacent with the same old thing, the same pattern, the same thing. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you whatever you go, you do about your business. But see, turning points is the point of life that life tells you, I will send this to you. Since you have asked it that you want your life to be better, well, I send this to you, and it's up to you to listen to yourself because I'm teaching you, have you learned? And when this comes, get ready because it's not easy. But I'm going to tell you, it is very, very rewarding. Turning points in life will not be the same. You will not be the same. You'll be better. You'll be better conscious. You'll be better unconscious, subconscious. Turning point is what you're getting rid of the old way of thinking. Old habits. You're getting rid of man's belief. You're getting rid of the wrong traditions. You're getting rid of the religious yokes. You're getting rid of ignorance. And you're getting rid of the narrow way you used to think. In other words, the turtle shell is about to come off. The chief said the turtle shell is about to come off. Can you imagine a turtle not having the shell? Can you imagine?
Naked.
Can you imagine? Ooh, I'm naked. Can you imagine?
Vulnerable.
The turning point is a point that you are coming out of struggling in your cocoon. Your turning point is a point of higher living, higher loving. The turning point is a point that you will understand you in a more spiritual way. A higher point means that now you know the kind of power you possess, so you can bring more happiness, more love, more abundance, more of what you need, so you can help others too. My turning point, listen very carefully, because I have to go in about 5 minutes. And I know I'm going to step in a lot of toes right now. My turning point last year in April when my husband went through what he went through. And please, I have to say this because you're not going to understand me if I don't say this. Just open your ears to what I'm about to tell you. My turning point that I no longer seek the truth. How is that? Because, listen very carefully, I don't longer seek the truth because I am the truth. Maria, you think like a God. Well, in the spirit of speaking, he says, I am a God, it says in the Bible, but not because of that.
It sounds new agey.
Excuse me?
It sounds new age.
She says it sounds new age. No, it isn't new age. It's biblically speaking. And I'm going to tell you why. I no longer seek the truth because the truth, Yahweh, is in me.
And the truth, life, the way.
And if he's in me, why do I have to seek him when he's inside of me? He is the one that had put all these challenges in my life. He is the one that has given me wisdom. I don't have to seek the truth because the truth is in me. Didn't I tell you I was going to step in your toes? She says it sounds new age. It can sound new age. It can sound Buddhism. It can sound Judaism. It can sound Christianitism. It can sound Messianicism. But I'm going to tell you, I don't speak in religion. I speak in terms of the Most High. I don't seek the truth because the truth is in me, and in me is Yahweh Sabaoth. And if he's in me, who can be against me? This is the higher level of life that he takes you. And many cannot take it. This is why when you're in religion, you constantly look at others that everybody's wrong and you're the only one that's right. I don't do that anymore. Because he did not give me this. He did not give me to be a judge to do this. And I did this for many years. I'm telling you the truth. I did it for many years because I thought that was the way, and that was very wrong of me. And I apologize to anybody. If I have wronged you in any way of your beliefs, I am sorry. I don't seek the truth because the truth is in me. And he says, because I am the temple of the Ruach HaKodesh, of the Holy Spirit. If you don't have a fellowship with the Spirit of the living Elohim, you will not know that's truth. You will only do man's ways, religion's ways, legalism ways. I am not a Messianic. I am not in Judaism. I am not Catholic. I am not a Buddhist. I am not New Age, but I am a child of the living Elohim. I think different, I speak different, and I still have the wisdom of the Old Testament, of the New Testament, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not here in competition with anybody. I am here to know the truth because I want to know the truth so I can grow. But see, the truth is in me. See, the problem with human beings, and I used to have this, is that we don't take the time to see what the person is saying. And then we automatically, what we do, we assume something that is not. And that's how we get in trouble in our lives, and we get in trouble with other people, and that's where their hatred and stuff. You know what? In the Bible, it says that in the last days, people's heart are going to grow cold. We ourselves, as human beings, are bringing all these disasters to our life, to the world. You know why? Look at what people are talking about now. Oh, the world's a mess. Oh, they're just constantly talking about bad. What is it going to manifest?
We need a fence.
Excuse me?
We need the fence.
The what?
The fence?
Yes.
We
See?
we need the border fence.
We need the border fence. My husband said it. We need the wall. We need the wall. Let me tell you. The Most High has only given us two things. A choice and life. That's it. You do with what you choose, and you do with your life whatever you desire. But don't condemn anybody else. And that's what I've learned. Because you know who I learned this from? His name is Yeshua HaMashiach. He never condemned anybody. He never criticized anybody. As a matter of fact, even when Judas betrayed him, he never told his disciples, have you do that? Have you done that with your friends? Or do you sit around and hear what the gossip that they talk bad about others? I learned that from Yeshua. I didn't learn it from any religion. I learned that from Yeshua. Life wants you to be happy. Life wants you to be at peace with yourself and the world around you. And life wants you to know that there is no need for you to struggle. There's no need for you to suffer, because the power is inside of your mind, of your heart, and your mouth. It so depends on what you choose. It says, I put it before you, life and death, blessing and curses. Choose life. Why life? Because life is our best teacher. Until next time. Shavua Tov from First Yahudin Messianic Temple.
Life and death are in the power of the